I'm going to call it what it is, because that's what happened. We had an impact here. It was a big one in a molten state. It even brought the center back up, and we have a place like this in America, on Earth, called Tonga. So go look at Tonga. It's just like it. Alright, so I kind of use this as an alignment point, and then I go retrograde, which is how we decrease our orbit. And I've got my periapsis lit up, or perigee, and I'm going to put it on 20. Okay, 18's fine. Now, I could have left this up as space junk, but I just brought it back down. So I'm going to send it away from my craft. And I'm pretty sure that if we needed to go to the moon, we could make it with that. And I can guarantee it if we put a 200 temp on there. So this is the same craft that's going to take us to the moon on a flyby, return trajectory orbit. This is kind of the first time when we're getting into orbital mechanics and we're not just fighting the power of gravity with thrust to weight ratio and proper angles specific to our planetary body. Did you get all that? Anyway, these guys are my friends over here. They're not supposed to be scary or mean. It's just, flaming souls. No, I'm joking. Anyway, it's kind of a honorary commitment to the code of conduct to keep all individuals safe based on the potential shortcomings of my engineering. I must overcome that with my skill to save lives. And I think that's maybe why pilots are arrogant, because once you basically have a pact to die before you do no harm, or die, then, doctors have do no harm, and they're kind of arrogant. Forgive me if any doctors or doctors' children are watching, so I'm not that subjective. But pilots really are arrogant. We're known for it. They say that, we thank God that He gave this earth dog, so that a pilot will have a creature that loves him as much as he loves himself. I don't know who said that, but it's some kind of pilot parable. And it's about our arrogance, and nobody knows why, and nobody fights it, because, it's a responsibility. Anyone who goes into this career is going to be objectified, observed, picked, prodded, researched. Now, because we have, problems with people and too many more airplanes and pilots, things are going to slip through the cracks, so they're going to have, less subjective psychology. So you have to really be careful that you might not get a second chance. They just say liability, you're gone. Liability means you're going to blow something up or kill someone, and not because you got a bad heart or you meant to, just because you're not competent or capable. So you lose what we call trust. Anyway, so just speaking of pilots, if you're ever, what you have is a mission briefing. That's the objective of your mission. Right now we're just waiting to come back into orbit. We can't accelerate time when we're falling back to Earth, so I'm just talking while we're waiting. I could actually be coming in heat shield only, and I probably should, but what I'm using is this full tank of gas, and I may actually use it to slow down if I'm going to overshoot Kerbal Space Center. I'm trying to hit Kerbal Space Center. We're talking about mission briefing. So that's my mission, to take off, orbit the Earth, and return home as near as possible. And now I'm going to role play in my own mind. This is a part of the game, but this is fun to do if the game has limitations. You need to make a website. but I'm going to try to get as close to home so it's more cost effective and it can pick me up. The truth is there's no cost difference no matter where they can pick me up. But in a real world, there would be. It's better for them to drive down the driveway and say, hey, than have to send guys up to the top of the mountain where there's no road. Soviet astronauts and some of our early astronauts were given survival training because they didn't know how many days it would take to retrieve them. I mean, think about it. If you've ever seen the Apollo program, they got like frogmen jumping in the water, helicopters chasing them. All this stuff was coordinated, and you just didn't blast the retro rockets in any old place. Just hit perfect. You have to plan it. You have to know what you're doing, and you can either learn this through experience or you can do the math. Anyway, let's look at ourselves on the big map while we're waiting. So, we have a little space center down here. It's a desert airfield with a launch site. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I try to fly to it once I get to aircraft, and it's a nice little jaunt across the globe when you start to engineer and do your test pilot. And, you need to do a fuel test. Fine. Fly to the desert facility. We also have a secret base right here. It's called the Island Airfield. It's a secret military base. It's not a big secret because you can see it when you fly over it. We don't talk about it much. But if you want to do a short test, just fly from here to here. Back again. 557. Over yonder here could be an hour and a half. You have to learn about long distance navigation. And there's no time acceleration in atmosphere. Okay, let's go back. I was getting a little away. So, since I have a little bit of experience with this, as I fly into the continent that has Kerbal Space Center, I know I want to be about 40,000 meters. I can see we're at the 50,000 mark. We're doing 2,300 meters per second, which means that's above our 22.9. That means we've picked up speed as we've entered into atmosphere. And now we have to get rid of speed. So how do you get rid of speed? It's called resistance. And loss of speed with the use of resistance has a cost, because now there's natural forces that we're using as fuel to slow us down. In this case, our fuel is brakes. Braking. But we're doing brake resistance. So there's a price to pay. We have to buy that fuel from somewhere. And what is that fuel we're buying? Because we have no choice. It's shoving it down our throat now. It's heat through friction. So to trade speed for velocity, I mean speed for inertia. What am I trying to say? Anyway, we're coming into atmosphere. We're hitting resistance. We're reducing our speed. So we're doing what we call air braking. When we air brake, the cost is friction. The price of friction is heat. It's very hot heat. It melts metal heat. It blows our rocket up heat. So this thing may get to the point where it's too hot, and I gotta pop the chain now. I'm coming over. Is this our continent? Let me check. I'm over Kerbal Space Continent now. We just hit 40 as we cross the line, but it's a little too fast, so I'm gonna give my gas now. Okay? And I'm hammering the gas right now. Let's go back. See how I'm just hammering it? So now I'm using my retro rocket to the cost of speed, something I brought with me, not resistance, not air braking. I am actually retro rocket braking. And if I'm going fast enough, this gets really hot and can blow stuff up. I don't think I'll be turning it off. I'm just gonna go all the way. I'm gonna retro rocket brake until my fuel runs out. Try to get myself a little closer to Kerbal Space Center too. Alright, I just ran out. I might as well pop my decoupler, separate that piece, and now I have my heat shield. Bam! That's what you don't want to do. So in a real life situation, that's a collision. We just, so we were talking about mission briefing earlier, which means, click again just for good insurance for incursions. Okay, we're talking about mission briefing, which is the objective of the mission and how we plan to succeed. So when we get back, we're going to have a thing called a mission debriefing. And this is a really important part of any piloting. Military does it specifically, so do test pilots. But anyway, it's what did we do right? What did we do wrong? What could we have done different? So right there, that's part of my debriefing, and we'll just do it now. I should have created an angle, then released, let it fly off to the side, and not have a collision. Okay. Part of the debriefing would be, too, to determine how much damage did we do with the collision. Okay, so that's all kind of important, too, is what happened as a result of our mistake. What did we do right? Boy, we came really close to our objective. Look at us. We're right on the edge of the shore. A little more fuel, or me not trying to point towards Kerbal. You know, I was trying to hit that Space Center runway, but I remember I was going squirrely sideways. Had I not gone squirrely sideways, we might be landing on land right here on the beach, which would be really cool. Hey, we are where we are, and we are coming down in shallow water. So, I'm not really sure what I have on here. I have stored data. Let's see if I can do a crew report. Alright. I think that's what it owed us. It owed us a crew and some goo. So we'll keep that. Look at our electric charge. So as soon as this opens, I am going to review my crew report and I'm going to transmit it. And look what that does. That's going to suck my electricity down. Oh, why did it do? Okay. I'm good. I had my bus turned off. So, as soon as we ejected, we were basically at the mercy of our ship. So, let's review report. Transmit. That's flying over Kerbal's water. See how it dropped our electrical charge down? We're not going to get another crew report off. So, but when we land in the water, it owes us crew and goo. So now flying over water just owes us goo on above and in. That's the only thing we have to keep track. Everything else, like grasslands, highlands, mountains, the only thing we have on those is space EVAs. Now we do have, look, throw that one away right now. That's over Kerbal's water. I must have collected that twice. So we have, just like I said, 5 EVAs. Shores, mountains, deserts, grasslands, highlands. Just basically waiting to splash down. 7 meters per second is the point where we start to break or damage things or kill Kerbals. So if you're above 7, you're perfectly safe. That's 7 meters per second. That's still pretty fast. And you wouldn't want to land on legs like that. But to splash into the water, okay. On the land, you'll probably be okay too with that. Alright, so since we're here in the water, we promised ourselves a crew report. Look, it's only 2 points, but we'll take it, right? We were 2 short earlier. Nope, 2/10 short. And I believe we've already done our water temperature. Yeah, I think I might have goofed on my temperature. Remember, above. I should have checked that in the air. I'll have plethora of opportunities, many opportunities, to be hovering above water by parachute. It's at least in my areas to pick up 2 points of science later, or 2 point whatever it is. So we go back to our place, and this is actually maybe a wonderful place to stop. I'm 102 minutes into the total video. 29 minutes each would be 30, 30, 30, 90, and about 14 minutes into the last part. Anyway, we've achieved near Earth orbit. We have 98 science points to spend. We got all this. We got these parts back. We got that money. We got that experience. Look, we're level 1. And we go into our astronaut complex. There they are. Look at them. And we've never been in there yet. That's a place, so let's go back, where you can hire these guys, but I never do unless there's one that's really special in here. I can look through them later. What I want is a lot of courage, no stupidity, and some kind of abnormally high resistance to G-force and sustainable endurance power. So, if I can grab a special one, I might spend the money, but look, 65. What's going to happen is there are going to be some rescue operations coming up really quick in the next phase, and we're going to get free Kerbinauts for our program. Basically, other programs send them up, and they get lost and abandoned, and then we go rescue them, and they hold loyalty to those who save them. We saved their lives, so they owe us theirs. So they basically become our employees or our conscripted soldiers. It depends how you want to view it. But anyway, they want to do it, so don't feel bad. They like it. I'm going to go spend our 98 science points. Look, we can go 45 on 2 of these, or we can actually search one of these. So I'm just going to be smart. I'm going to get my solar panel that I need to go to the moon. Because that rocket will take us to the moon. And then we're going to do our mission, which is going to be fly by the moon. I don't know how close they need us. You could have paused and read that. And then if we want to try to make additional money, we can. So going back, look, we have 226. So I go, sorry. This is a really tough quandary. Because, look, I can upgrade this for 225 and I only use 1002. I can't fly for that. But what I can do is come here and look for a mission. I don't even have to preform the mission. I can just accept it. I might be able to actually preform this one. It gives me 7,000 upfront and 20,000 on completion. So this gives me 9,000 upfront, 7,000. Oh wow, 22,000 upfront to test an RT-5 flea at 380 to. Oh my goodness, we're gonna take this one just because we're stealing the money. Basically, it's given us that much in advance, and I might just send a little rocket. That's a little separate mission. Send a little sput rocket up there with an RT-5 on, fire it at 380, send it off into solar orbit. Anyway, never mind that. We were basically stealing 20,000, so we could come back here and upgrade this. Upgrade. See that? Now we have 23,000. I'm going to load this ship. So load. And I'm going to do one change. Take this off. closer. Take that gas tank off, and put the big one on. And then, of course, since we upgraded, you can add more parts, solar panels, scientific experiments. Let's show you a good one to add. This is Science Junior right here. You can put one of those here. And Z2. And save. Okay, now what's that cost? 16. We got 23. We're within. And I'll probably want to add 2 of these if I can. 2. Alright, so that's a pretty good Moon Explorer. Save. And I think this is the point where I end my video. And when we come back, we're going to reach near Earth orbit, and we're going to fly by the Moon, and then we're going to come back and land on the Moon. In between there, we might build an aircraft that flies, and or also show you an orbital rendezvous through a rescue or 2 Kerbals in space. So we're going to do a flyby, an orbit, this is the Moon, landing, orbital rendezvous, possibly a rescue. That should take about the same amount of time that this took. We're looking at about 109 minutes right now. 33. So this is going to be a 4-part episode right here, 29 minutes each. The last one's going to be shorter. But look what we've achieved. Let's just hit save and back out of here and look at an achievement. An appreciation goal. So we have upgraded 1, 2, 3, 4 facilities in 1, 2, 3 missions, 4 facilities and 3 missions, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 to go. And we have enough money to buy the spacecraft to achieve the next mission, and we'll worry about that where we stole 22,000 by making a promise that we don't care if we keep or not. We'll have to pay that money back, and we're going to take a hit on our reputation for being sneaky scoundrels. But that's okay. When you then break the rules and don't come make promises, get paid money in advance, and then fail to keep those promises, you should have to pay the money back, and you should have your reputation tarnished. So the actual goal is going to be to not worry about it just yet, but preform it later. Can I do? Rob Peter to pay Paul is what they say. So at this point in time, I'm going to end this program here, and like I said, come back. So this is a pilot and space training experience. I'm Jeff. I'm an everyday astronaut. That's just a normal guy who does space training, who demonstrates to other people that it's not that hard. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket surgery. And even if it is, it's not beyond the comprehension of a 7 to 11-year-old. At different degrees of understanding and performance, of course. But it's definitely not beyond the understanding of a parent and a 7-year-old working together to have fun and achieve something in science, technology, engineering, and math. Even though we don't really use math here, we use computers and maths in the background, and math is behind everything here. You can find the math. It's here. I've got it in a mod. Okay? Like a compendium, an encyclopedia that's inside here. It's right here. It's an orbital bookcase reference system. KSP. It's absolutely amazing. You can find the math in it. You can find explanations. Absolutely wonderful pursuit of your time is education, simulation, programming. for subconscious, subtle learning. Some called it learning by accident. We're all getting ready for KSP2, so we're dusting off our flight suits, our controllers. We're hoping for the best, but let's get prepared for some shortcomings and some bugs too. We'll probably have to go through all the same learning process that we went through with 1, all the updates from 0.3, I remember 0.3 all the way to 1.0, 0.8, and we are one of the few games that when we release 1.0, we put so much time into alpha and such community support. The magazines all across the board gives a 10 out of 10. That is hard to do. We have 10 out of 10 release. They should have sold more copies. People don't know what the heck it is. It's not a shooter. It's not a puzzle game. It's not something like Madden. It's basically a crap that's got a bunch of marketing behind it by the evil empire of executive annexing. Electronic Arts. Anyway, I'm not really complaining. They do so much to move the industry forward so fast. They deserve the money. It's just, they care. They seem to and really try. Alright, anyway, I'm done like I promised. As always, thank you for watching Kerbal Space Program. Have a great whatever you have. If it's a day, an evening. Love your children, love your animals, love all life in this big blue marble with a thin veil of an atmosphere we have to preserve. Have a good